This is Damon Stevens from Fund Wealth Builders, and today is Wednesday, October 20th, 2021, and this is Stock Market Update for our trades for the day. Another huge day for crypto. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they're all skyrocketing. SPY's doing strong, topping out to new highs. Just an amazing market right now. But let's talk about, what's next, and it might surprise you. So let's look at the market overall. Dow Jones up 0.43%, NASDAQ down 0.05%, and S&P 500 up 0.37%. So, overall, good market, a little bit flat, but, still strength. FANG stocks took a little bit of rest after, having, some great runs, including BABA here in China. And you can see here, these big techs, slowed down a little bit here. Money moving out, so it's still very green. Financials still did well, but does this continue, or is it time for a rest or a pullback here? Let's talk about that, because we are at highs in the marketplace. And again, looking at our scanner, HX was our top one, SHPW and SESN. So, HX we've talked about like the last several days. I mean, this has been a multi-day run. So we'll get to the charts and take a look at it. But, tomorrow, it's going to be flat tomorrow. What's going to happen at the market? Got some big tech companies, some big earnings coming out, really could swing the market. So just be ready for volatility back and forth as the market tries to absorb these earning reports and decide which direction they want to go. But this HX that we've talked about several days here just, gave us another run today, 857 low, 1888 to high. So another $10 today on a small stock, just kills it. And so gonna look for continuation again, see if we keep getting these stair steps up. Eventually they're gonna stop. Is it 21, 22 for the next one? And then we stop, or 24? Hard to say, but boy, keep an eye on this one. When it pulls back, it's going to pull back. But for right now, we got a daily stair step, which, when you have stock like that, it makes it a lot easier to trade. IO, so IO multi-day trade as well. We capped out here, like we talked about this in the video. As long as you follow this trend line, we're good. And we continue to do that. And we continue to have these little pullbacks, that lets you, at least get in at a, fair price. But this stock, it's not giving you a whole lot, unless you're buying a lot of shares. So, 188 was a low, 242 was the high. So put in a new high. So we have higher lows, higher highs. It came back and settled here just below the 50 and the 20. So hopefully it doesn't have weakness here to start dropping down. If it does, this might be done. But this one's been climbing for us as well and giving us a multi-day trade. And that's what we love. That way we don't have to look for other stocks unless, they happen to come up on the scanner and they look really promising. I'm going to hit Bitcoin here real quick, just because it's real hot right now topic. We hit new highs, 67,000 on the Bitcoin, but it did pull back here. It's right at the trend line. So you can see it hit the trend line here, or these boundaries here. You hit up here, hit down here again, bounce below it, down to 64,000. So I was wondering, is this it, for a while, or is this just a cool down? But you can see this nice little hump here. So does that mean we're going to settle down here and pause? Possibly. It might consolidate here after having that big run, but we'll see. We'll see. I mean, every day it just continues to just climb. But it's it's above it's above our level here. So what's it going to do from here? I don't know. 65,000 was kind of our level. It bounced significantly above that. $75,000, is what they talk about being on the list. That's possible, I guess, but just be careful here. We're also on the 200 on this 10-minute time frame. So hopefully it has support there and continues to climb for us. But that is a hot topic right now. It's in the news everywhere, and it's doing well. And I still have a piece in it, but most of it I'm out on the sidelines right now. I expected that when we hit these next levels, there's going to be some type of pullback, but haven't really seen it yet. So it just continues to climb. Looking at where we're at today. So Tesla after hours, we'll talk about that. Las Vegas Sands, IBM, a couple others. And then tomorrow is the big day. So definitely a lot to watch in pre-market and on the open, as well as looking at, Sands, Tesla, and IBM as well. And then, at close, it's Snap, Intel, Chipotle, Sammy Adams, Mattel. So it's going to be a busy day tomorrow. Really a lot of action and a lot of volatility probably in the marketplace with all these high names coming out here. So just trade carefully out there. Tesla hit that 880 and just continue to pull back after earnings. In the evening here, you can see that it's pulled back from 866 down to 850 and 180. Are we going to come back down here to the 200 and our line here? Hard to say, but we do have a gap here. Well, actually, that's not a gap here. I just looking on the chart, it's not a gap. This must be old on here. So, but hopefully this will find support. It looks like a good support area. So hopefully we come in here and find support here around this area. May find it above it. I'll go ahead and mark it out here just so it's on the chart here. So it could find it right above here. This little breakout area right here that you see. Maybe that's where that's coming from. And then down here, the bottom of that breakout area, and also where the 200 and our boundaries kind of sit here. So does it come down here and find support on the support line and the 200? We'll see. But Tesla will be crazy tomorrow. It might bounce off of it. You can see that it rode the line right here. I came up here, bounced off the top of our line here, and then came back down, broke the 100 or the 50 and the 100. And so maybe it's the 200 that we visit next. LRCX, this was a multi-day trade. Did fall back down today, came down as low as 540.50, but then it went right back up to 565.50, right at this 200 line, and then dropped back down again. So, there was a possibility for another trade here. It would have been a quick one if you got back in. So, but yeah, this continues to drop off here. It's kind of tearing down. So that might be off of our list at this point. I'll close my list here. CSX was another one. So this one just skyrocketed, caught just the tail end of this, didn't really get a whole lot of this. So here's the retracement here. Here's the high 35.74 from a low of 34.35. So not significant, but just enough pop here. Going to see what it does here. This might be it, or this could be a new tier where we start to stair step up. So we have our lines up here. It should be resistance around 36. So we'll see what it does, but it is above moving averages. So we could go higher tomorrow. Netflix, a couple of pullbacks here that gave you some opportunities here. Pull back from 639 to 617 and back up to 637. So that was a nice little rocket ride there. If you shorted it, you had another ride here back down to 620. And then we're sold out here. So pretty much a full, almost 3/4 retracement, half retracement here. But we did find support here on a line. We didn't have it this morning, but we found it later. So that's good. So we'll see what Netflix continues to do for us. Adobe kind of selling out after hitting that high. So, watch Adobe. It might be exhausted at this point, but we'll watch it. Apple pulled down from 157 down to 138, back up to 149. So, on a daily chart, we're right at that resistance level, that 150. And we talked about this in the videos, that 150 was our goal to try to break through. If we break through that, we have a nice run to the top to 157. So still looking for a breakout there. It could fail. You can see down here, it failed multiple times before breaking out. So we'll see what happens, but we got to get above that 150. Amazon, try to go through. It's funny. It goes up to try to go to fill the gap, and then it fails and comes back to support. That shows a little bit of weakness on Amazon's standpoint. As far as coming back down to support. If it breaks that, we could be coming back lower because we'll be in the lower channel there. But if it can hold this and break up, then the goal is 1487 is kind of where we're headed next. Nvidia kind of had a flat day as well. I tried to get this one. I was trying to scalp it. I stayed on it for an hour and then I just couldn't do it anymore. Same with Moderna. I was watching that one with NVAX. NVAX actually had some bad news with their vaccine. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with it, but they more likely came down and dropped. But we'll see in the morning kind of where they sit. So we're going to sit here on the support level here right now. So we'll see what it can do to get momentum going here. But yeah, here's the NVAX. So we just started talking about this. So here's NVAX. It did, and after hours, it did drop down to 121 here. So it's down here at this support line we had here, 117.12. So it's visiting this area right here. So hopefully it finds support here and can kind of rally back up. That is the best support. So it's funny, it came right down to it, to that line that we had prior. So interesting, it blew right through these two. So that is weak, but it looks like it also popped back. It hit 121.75 and popped back up to 136.86 right now. So looks like a little bit of recovery. So that must have been very emotional, but it did leave a gap here. We'll see in the morning if the gap is filled. I'm going to go ahead and mark it out here just so that we can see it and keep track of it and see what it decides to do. See if it just remains a gap or if it closes that gap tomorrow. So interesting. Anyways, some of the stuff is real time, as you see. So you're getting real time information. So the dollar came up, hit the new high, bounced back down here, just below our line here, but it's above the 50. So does it find support there? You know, right now the dollar's, you know, showing pretty strong. The VIX pullback, you know, it's just hovering down here with the rest of these numbers here. You know, if it, you know, as long as this stays down here low, we're going to go to new highs. So the SPY, if it stays down here, we don't have a little spike again. SPY could, you know, make a new high tomorrow. So we'll see. It did today, and it continues to create all these gaps going up, and it's got to fill those. So that's where I think, you know, talking about, you know, when we first started this video, you know, with all the gaps that are there, I still think the SPY's got to come back down a little bit. Even if it comes down, say that it comes back down here to this line here and then bounces off and goes to new highs, that's fine. But it can't, I know, and can it go up here? It could. I mean, our line's clear up here, you know, at 460. So could it skyrocket up and hit this 460? It could. And then come down. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. You can see that the stock's been above this line until now, and it broke down. So it's got to rally back up here, which would be around the 464, 465 area. Really, if it's kind of gets back in the same channel it was in before. Tall order without pulling back, I think. So we'll see what happens the rest of this week. Triple Qs, you know, it's out of that channel as well. It's above the 50. And it's trying to rally back up, but it's not quite there. It's got resistance here at 378. It's got to break through. Semiconductors was flat today. It failed to break through that line as well. IWM broke out of our little shape here again. So you can see that we came up, pulled back, got a little energy, ran it again. Still found resistance though at that 227.68 level I have on here. So got to get above this and also to 227.37. is where our line, if it wants to kind of break out to the highs again. Financials continues to climb. It's at our resistance level at 40. So it's got to break through that to start moving back up here and to continue its new high run. So let's just keep an eye on that. Gold, it's got to get through it's got a lot of resistance areas right here. So we got this resistance area here. We have the 200. We have our downward trend line. So it's got a lot to do, and it's filled every time so far. But you can see it comes up to the line, pulls back, it's up to it again. So we'll see if it's able to break through and hold. Same with silver. Silver, you know, broke through the 50, the 100, and it's just at the bottom of 200. So we'll see. We do have a couple resistance lines up there for silver as well. We talked about Bitcoin, so it looks like as we speak, Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit here. It does have support. It touched that support, so that's good. So we'll see if it can hold that and consolidate and continue its run. Ethereum blasted through these resistance lines here that we had drawn out here. So just a rock star, and it's up here above this. So the next line up is, you know, 43.62. So we'll see if it can run up to that next spot. So Ethereum's killing it. SHIB, Still consolidating here. So, you know, I got out at 20, a couple of them at 29.79 and 29.21. So there's a few, you know, areas up here. Like I said before, I'm waiting for it to come up here and break this high and then show me that it's going to, you know, continue to run. Because right now, you know, just taking some profits, figured it was going to pull back, which it did. It did. It found support on our support line though, so that's fine. You know, on these breakup candles and breakdown candles, that's kind of a good support area and a good run. So, you know, does it chase back up these candles and tries to go to highs? We'll see. But right now, I'm just kind of just watching it. But you know, if you're trading these, make sure you're taking profits. You know, with these huge runs, just remember we got a retracement, and we talk about this in our videos all the time, that there could be a 50% retracement of the current run. So just remember that. And if it starts to fall below these support lines, you definitely want to take some profits, unless you're holding on long term. If it's part of your long term portfolio and you just want to let it run, just let it run and don't look at it. But for me, you know, I watch my short term and long term portfolios. You know, not as much on my long term. You know, at least look at it weekly. Yeah, just be careful out there trading. Right now, market and crypto is just like rock stars. So they're doing great. So hopefully you're profiting from that. Stay safe out there. And we will talk tomorrow night on kind of where we're at. You have our shopping list for tomorrow. And so hopefully it does well for both of us. And everybody have a great night.